Hello, and welcome to ShePack Unleashed. I'm one of your hosts, Tanya.
I'm Nichole. Welcome to your weekly dose of candid discussion and the pursuit of finding your tribe in this journey of motherhood, womanhood, and sisterhood.
I'm Ashley. Join us as we leave no stone unturned. In each episode, we have heart-to-heart conversations that aim to challenge and empower one another.
I'm Jenny. No more waiting. ShePack Unleashed begins now.
On this episode, the she's do the keys.
Hey.
Okay, so we went to the Florida Keys for my birthday weekend as a come to my hometown and explore all the things that I did growing up because we did not grow up together, unfortunately.
And every time you tell us about the Keys, you were like shocked we hadn't been there.
Well, I'm just shocked that you didn't even couldn't conceptualize.
Not at all.
What it,
not at all.
And it wasn't how I thought it would be.
Oh,
I
that's
agree. It was
so
very
interesting.
different in a good way.
Yeah, but it's I was trying to explain just the various differences of growing up there and how that has sort of shaped me and and it was interesting because you guys are the closest people I have, and so for you guys to not know that or have seen it, it was weird. So I was let's do a trip to the Keys. We should also do an all across hometown, except we live in your hometown.
Yeah, mine's not going to be very exciting for you.
That's okay.
I can still take a weekend to explore week for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Frolic in the woods.
Yeah, it was fortunate that it was Key West. I'm oh man, we have to go to Key West.
Yeah. So, yeah. Oh, unfortunate. So sorry.
So sad.
So the Keys, so we went to the Keys and we went for my birthday. I turned 37 this year.
Simmer down.
I know. It just feels this birthday for me feels really hard.
Okay.
Interesting.
Say more.
I feel it would feel harder than 40. 40 feels it's a milestone of celebration. And 37 just felt I'm on the back half of my 30s.
I see. Yeah.
It just felt more.
You think that a milestone one's more to get excited about?
Yeah.
Versus 37.
35,
Okay.
I was okay, 35, I'm still, I'm only 35. 36, I'm still it's 36.
Yeah.
37, I'm
It's
shit.
you've gone from mid-30s to late 30s.
Yeah.
The
Different
7
bracket
is
on
that.
the form.
Yeah, I'm in a new bracket, and I was having some feels about being in a new bracket. Especially because I work with a bunch of toddlers.
Not literal, but figuratively.
Figuratively.
Yeah.
They live
Effectively.
New graduates.
new graduates from college. I had a conversation with a coworker the other day, and September 11th came up, and he was 2.
What?
Oh, I was sitting in a college class.
Yeah, and I was I was in high school.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just felt very old this year.
So did the trip soften the blow?
Yes,
Did
yes.
this give you more to look forward to?
Yes,
for it?
and our family tradition, just as an overarching, is that we do either a birthday party or a trip across the board. My kids get to pick that, we get to pick that, and so I typically always pick a trip. So we usually are somewhere for my birthday, which always makes it feel a little better. So this time I was I'm going to leave the family and the kids home, and we're going to go do the ShePack, trip. So I got to take you guys to the Keys and a whole adventure of reliving sort of my high school experience as if you guys were with me in high school.
And this was a whirlwind, 72-hour
It was quick.
weekend that
Very
we packed
quick.
a lot
Yeah.
into. So we wanted to bring all of our listeners along for the journey and the shenanigans, and
Because there was some
all the fun.
shenanigans.
We're
Definitely.
shenanigans.
I mean, so it started off, we left Thursday, which was my actual birthday, and our flight was out at 12, and we went to the airport. First, I got lost in the airport, and this is an airport that
Wait, you did? I missed that.
She put her car somewhere
Oh,
I've
that's
never
right.
been.
The parking situation.
I couldn't figure
And she
out.
probably went down a one-way road. I don't know how she got
how
where
I got
she
my
was.
car where I got
Over
it.
the river and through the woods.
Yeah, and I couldn't figure out how to
Airport that you've been in and out of a million times too.
a million times.
We didn't realize till we were walking out. We were like, Nichole, where is
Right.
your car?
None of us knew that this lot even existed.
No.
So
So I don't know how I got there, but
Okay.
I did. And so that started off the trip and I was all right, gotta go. Okay. So got into the airport, and this was the day that the big AT&T outage happened. So my
Right.
phone was offline. I couldn't get any calls, texts, emails.
it's a birthday miracle.
I mean, I had some high anxiety about it, y'all, because
Understandable. But it
I-
was nice to have you fully for 15 minutes before it turned back on.
I don't like being disconnected.
We know.
Totally understand.
So
I did text your husband and say, we've got her.
Yeah, because he's on Verizon.
Yeah. Well, he knew that you had gotten back with us.
Yeah. So, but it started off that way. Yeah, and so we got to the airport. It was a quick flight. It's a direct flight from here flew into Fort Lauderdale.
Thanks for the direct flight.
Appreciate it. Love it. Southwest. I only really fly Southwest, let me be honest. And then I had created a Spotify playlist.
Wait, you got to talk about our ride.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we had been debating for like weeks leading up to the trip about like what car we were going to get. And because I'm a national member, I was like, I'll just do Emerald Isle. And I had always wanted a Jeep growing up in high school. Like I really wanted a Jeep. Okay. I had a wagon. Is that what it is?
A Wagoneer?
Like I had a Ford Escort
wagon.
Oh, station
I had
wagon.
a station wagon in high school. Okay. Ford Escort station wagon, green.
Those are super functional in high school.
I mean, the seatbelts were like, zoom, zoom, like the actual seatbelts like closed you in, and like the doors didn't open from the inside, only from the outside, and you had to like roll your window. Like,
Did you just say that the seatbelts closed you in? Isn't
Yeah,
that
the
what they're
kinds that like,
supposed
But, like,
do, they sit on the
automatically.
door. Yeah.
Oh, well, see, that was fancier than my first car. That was automated.
that wasn't fancy. That was like, and sometimes
scary.
it like
Uh-huh.
Before you were ready.
yeah, like it gets
Well,
you.
there's no getting out of it, which
Right.
I find terrifying.
But you had always wanted a Jeep, and you almost switched us to a Jeep, but it was going to be more money, and then we were going to take a chance.
Yeah, and then I was like the day of, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna switch this to a Jeep, and then there were none left, so I couldn't get a
Very
Jeep, and I was
sad.
like, okay, I should have done it weeks ago. So we get out of the airport, and we walk into, there's two aisles in National. There's the executive aisle and there's Emerald Aisle, and I'm Emerald Aisle, not executive. So we walk up, and in the executive aisle, like the first thing we see is the
freshly washed, wet
freshly
snow.
washed, shiny Ruby, the Rubicon. Ruby the Rubicon Jeep, and I was like, there's a Jeep, and we like sprinted.
No, wait. Jenny and Ashley started sprinting.
I was
Nicole
like,
stops
wait.
dead, and she like
I
looks
just
at
thought
the guy.
if we touched it, it could be
I know.
ours.
She looks at the guy, and she's like, "But wait,
I didn't know it wasn't in our
I'm not
aisle."
the executive." And he's like,
Yep, the wonderful
any car.
employee.
He
Just
said,
go, just
any
go.
car, just go. And you, of all people,
I
this is the
know.
only time I have seen you
Ever
stop and
be a rule
ask
breaker,
permission
or
for
rule-
anything.
because I was like, wait, this is not
Too
my,
good to be true, right?
right. Like I was kind of like in shock. I was like, first off, like what is it doing here right in front of us? Second off, like this isn't my aisle, so like they're gonna just take it away from me. I'm gonna want it, and then they're gonna be like, you can't have it. So like I didn't want to like be like, I'm taking it, and they're like, you can't.
Meanwhile, I had ran up to it, and I was literally hugging it. Because I didn't want anyone else to touch.
Yes, we had
And
to claim.
that's how it works.
So we literally ran like a bunch of
Squealing.
teenagers
It was so
dragging
good.
suitcases to this Jeep.
But I think we made the 3 or 4 people working.
I mean-
they were entertained.
For sure.
They knew that it made our day, and I am sure that that brought them some joy.
And like my grandfather had always told me he was going to buy me a Jeep when I was 16. And before I turned 16, they moved from the Keys to Pensacola. And he then bought this like giant shed on his property, which was like his workshop. And he called it Nikki's Garage. Because he's like the only person that ever called me Nikki. Called it Nikki's Garage. Or Nikki's Jeep. And it was like, this is where your Jeep money went. And I was like, oh.
So mean.
Okay. Thanks so much. So like never got the Jeep I wanted. I still want a Jeep. In my midlife crisis when I turned 40, I'm for sure buying a Ruby.
There you go.
Like put it on the list. It is happening, especially after experiencing it. So we got Ruby, got in the car.
She was fancy. She was like
She was
hybrid,
so fancy.
electric, and it was very spacious. It was really comfortable.
I really
was.
loved her. The only thing was the windshield was tiny.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there
Because
wasn't-
when
true
it's
of
just
all
like
Jeeps.
vertical,
Yeah.
just about.
Yeah.
It took us forever to find the buttons. We're like, where are
Yeah,
the buttons?
all the
Why
window
aren't they on the
buttons, lock
doors? I'm like,
buttons.
oh, because we take the doors
We
off.
didn't know that obviously you can't have the door like window controls and the
took a
locks
minute.
on the door.
It took us a hot minute. I think a whole day until we figured
But
it
so
out.
we got our Jeep,
Got our Jeep.
got out, and you set the scene for us. You set the mood.
Set the mood.
Playlist.
Now I went to high school 2001 to 2005, and I was very true on the playlist. Only if it had come out in those years was it on the playlist. And it was pretty memorable.
It was so good.
So fun. I highly recommend. Now we're gonna have to do that on another trip, and
Yeah.
maybe we just like pick a genre if it's not for a birthday
or
trip
pick
or something.
like an era.
That was super fun.
And
Yeah.
what we learned is Jenny knows all the music somehow.
I had no idea.
Yeah, somewhere
But if
buried
you-
in there.
If you had told me the name of the band, I'd be like, I don't know them. Even the name of the song, I'd be like, no. But it was playing, and I could sing along.
You
Like,
knew
I mean, what
every
was there?
band.
There was like a bunch. I remember the Hoobastank. I was so excited.
Hoobastank.
Yellow Card. I was so pumped
Oh my
that
God.
you knew Yellow Card. Dashboard Confessionals.
I was an emo girl in high school,
I love it.
which is weird because I'm a full Taylor only girl now.
you had some
Or
Taylor,
Taylor
on
exclusive.
there.
yeah, there's a little
But
bit
Taylor
of old
country.
was
stuff.
not. There was a little
Country.
country, but Taylor was not in my high school. She was my freshman year of college.
Yeah, that's true.
She premiered. I saw her
'Cause she's my
at
age.
the Chili Cook-Off in Fort Lauderdale my freshman year of college the first time.
Yeah, it was the longest that we have ever spent time with you and not listened to Taylor.
It's true. It's true. It's not often, but I was like, here we go. We're going.
It was-
We're like
it was
throwing
really
back
fun.
because I hate to break it to you, but like when you enter the Keys, you like enter a time warp.
It was so different, like another world all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's like a time warp.
Yep.
Well, also there was like Death Con Highway, where like they're like, yeah, lots. This is most dangerous highway ever
In the country.
Like, this you're telling me this as we're like flying down the highway, and I'll never forget it. The GPS said like, I don't know, 7:00 we get to your house, and we got to your house like 10 minutes before. It's like
Florida driving.
flying.
That's Florida driving. Well,
Florida
before we got to that, we had the turnpike, which I don't think any of you have experienced in terms of like 6 lanes on a highway.
I have in Texas. I
Okay.
had not in Florida.
Yeah, not. I mean, I've been from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, but not south of Miami.
Yeah, 6 lanes on the turnpike, and you just kind of like weave in through. There's 2 things I learned while driving in Florida: protect your space, and you brake in and accelerate out of turns.
Brake and accelerate out of turns.
You brake in and accelerate out of all turns.
Correct.
There's no stopping.
There's no stopping. You just like brake in, accelerate out.
Yeah, but then other people also had those rules, and it felt a little bit like Mario Kart with, with like alligators.
Yeah,
Around.
welcome to Florida. Because the stretch is literally you're going down the stretch, and the Everglades are on both sides.
I know, and you were like, we have to pass them now.
So the fun thing was, right, we were driving, like there was the big highway, and then like we got down to like a 4-lane highway essentially, right? And then we got finally down to like the 2-lane, and you're like, okay, now
We're
we're
here.
well, I guess the 4-lane was still in the Upper Keys, right?
The Upper Keys
little
has
bit.
yeah,
Little bit.
Upper
It was
Keys
supposed to
has
be
like
2 in
2
Key Largo.
lanes.
And
Yeah,
you told us
like
that
where-
was where you were allowed to drive.
Our
as a
first
teenager.
stop, I think, had the 4 lanes, but
Yep.
like it was a really neat experience. Like it just all started narrowing, and I was like, okay, yeah, the land mass is also narrowing, and like the usable space and everything.
Yeah, and my best friend in high school, Blake, lived on the stretch, and I wasn't allowed to drive to his house because it's the most dangerous road in the country. So if he wanted to hang out at his house, which was much nicer than my house, he lived in like what we call like a Keys mansion. He'd have to come pick me up from my house and then take me to his house to hang out.
Now, what made it the most dangerous stretch of road?
So when we were there, they had built a barrier between the middle. There was not a barrier. There
was just a 2-lane, right?
2-lane straight. There's no lights. There's the Everglades on each side, and it's like dark as all biot, like down there, right? There's no street lights. It's Everglades.
It was really dark.
Yeah. And so like people pass and people also like when you enter the stretch, there's a bar called the Last Chance Saloon. Like literally before you get on the stretch where people would like drink
Oh no,
before getting into the Keys. And then people
the buzz
who,
would just set in while they're driving.
right. And then people who like came from the Keys to go back to Miami like would be drunk.
Yep.
Like a lot of people from Homestead or Miami would come down to the Keys to party and then go back. And like there's so many car accidents on that road. Like I think there was like, I'm sure we'll have to Google it, but there was like a bajillion fatalities a year. Like at least one kid from my high school every year died on that,
Wow.
on that road.
Gosh.
But it was like I wasn't allowed to drive on that road. The first time I drove on the road was when I drove away to college.
Yeah.
Like I literally drove on that road the first time on my way off to
Were you
college.
scared?
No.
She was ready.
I was like,
Here we go.
Get
I
out.
was in my tiny, at that point I had bought a Chevy Aveo. I was in my
those were
tiny
so fun.
Chevy Aveo. The thing looked like a fucking spaceship.
Uh-huh.
Like I rolled out of there stuffed full of everything I owned and was like, off I go. Playing probably Hoobastank. Off I went off to college. So then we got down to the Keys and we went by my old house first.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was really nice to see.
Yeah, it was really interesting because I tried to explain like that like I grew up very working class in the Keys, and there's two populations there. There's like working class, and then there's like the snowbirds, right? People who are there half the time of the year, people who have like vacation homes there. And then there was the locals, and most of the locals are low income families, right? Working class, worked in restaurants, worked in real estate, like didn't have a ton of money.
Support the tourism industry.
Support the tourism industry, right? Like, so it was very interesting to like, people would be like, oh, you grew up in the Keys? Like it was some fancy ass place, but it was a double wide trailer. Yes, it was on the water, and we swam in those canals. Like, I literally to this day can't believe my parents let us swim in that canal.
Were there gators in there?
Literally, there's like an island in the back that a gator would like sunbathe on. Mm-hmm. And we swam in there. Like, I'd see the gator.
Be like, hey, what's up?
Yeah, like
friend?
when I like we
Gator
never,
neighbor.
like never thought twice about it. Like my reality was like they don't come to you if you don't mess with them. Like
Yeah, like squirrels.
True.
yeah,
I don't
Florida
feel like that's
squirrel.
true either.
I don't think that's true.
but like that was
Different perspective.
the
for sure.
perspective I had from gators.
I did think it was interesting that all the houses were on the water in some way, and like everyone had a boat. That
Yeah.
was really
Yeah,
cool.
the number of canals everywhere.
So many canals.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be more beachy. Like I didn't realize how rocky and like no, it's very much
Just
like a
coral and
boating
limestone
community, not.
Yeah, it's not a beach community. There's
beach
very
community.
few beaches in the
That
Keys.
surprised me.
Yeah, it's not like I think you think of like the Outer Banks, which is very beachy, but we're not like that, right?
Well,
We're
but then there's
just
like
islands.
there's palm trees everywhere, right?
Yeah.
In my brain, palm trees equal beach and sand and ocean. And like whenever we would go to the ocean in North Carolina, right? Like our ritual is like we grab a bite to eat and then we go to the ocean and we put our feet in the water, right? And then like vacation has begun if you're at the coast in my brain. And so the fact that we spent an entire weekend in the Keys surrounded by these gorgeous palm trees and like this amazing turquoise water, we never once touched the water, save for our experience at Robbie's, and we'll talk about that. But like it was just very, very different.
well, you don't. There's signs that
Yeah.
literally say like, "Don't put your feet in the water. A gator are gonna get you."
Yeah.
And yet you were swimming in the canal.
I was a kid. We had like a rope swing off, and like we jump off the rope swing.
We did not
deep are
go
the
bridge
canals?
jumping. That is one thing we
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah.
We did not.
We did not do.
Bring up from
I mean,
your childhood.
Yeah, I don't think you're really supposed to do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But we definitely did a ton. Like there wasn't a lot of activities to do as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Yeah, I did notice that. It was touristy things to do, but not like hangout places for kids and teenagers. Like I didn't see a lot of parks and playgrounds. There were a few around like the schools, but
no, the schools were the only playgrounds.
Yeah.
There weren't very many of them. It would be like we'd drive for an hour and you'd be like, there's the high school.
Yeah, the one high school is in Alamorada, which services essentially the way the Keys is worked. It's mile markers, right? Everything is mile markers. So services, the Keys start at like mile marker 109 essentially, or 110. And the high school I went to was from like 110 to like 85. So everybody that was in that range went to that high school. And it was only one. And there was like 2 elementary and middle schools. And I've never been to a place like here. The middle schools are separate from the elementary schools. Ours was all one. Like you
On the
were
same property.
On the same property. There was no like separate middle schools. So when they said like you'd go to different middle schools, like what do you mean? I don't understand. So yeah, so we went to the trailer, still standing.
it's amazing.
I mean, but like it's so interesting because all the houses around had been developed, and like none of the trailers were there except for the one like when I grew up in, and all the other houses were like stilts, like,
Upgraded. Yeah.
and like I know that the permitting changed somewhere in the early 2000s after the big Irma, maybe it was Irma, after a big hurricane wiped out a bunch of stuff there, that like you couldn't not build on stilts anymore. Like you can't have
For
anything.
flooding reasons,
Yeah,
it has to be up.
you can't have anything on the ground anymore. But if you already have a ground home, like you're grandfathered in, but nothing else can be built
Wow.
on the ground anymore. Which is sort of how you can tell the difference between like newer construction versus old homes. And then we went to Hobos.
Which was not even where you thought it would be. It was totally new building.
Yeah, they moved the building, which is a little weird in my opinion. Like
I mean, you evolved. The places there evolved too.
yeah, but like the Keys doesn't evolve.
They moved across the street.
Yeah, they moved to essentially
It
building.
was a nice place.
It was very nice.
It was, but it
Delicious.
wasn't in like my memory.
No,
It was
definitely.
nicer
It was.
than, but
It was nicer. Yeah. Like when I grew up there, the menus were on like a bottle in the middle of the table, like wrapped around it.
yeah, no, these were laminated and a little.
And like big. They had
Like
expanded
a
their
pretty
menu.
patio out on the back that we got to sit
Pretty
on.
patio.
Well, the weather was perfect too. When we
But
got
they had
in.
good buffalo shrimp and peach melba.
So we went to Hobos for every special occasion that ever happened, right? Like every birthday, every celebration. My graduation dinner was there. My confirmation dinner was there. Like every special event we ever had was at Hobos, and we'd always get a peach melba as our dessert. That was always where our candle was, like for our birthday songs. My parents went there like every day for lunch, and then like I got a job there when I was like 15 and worked there until I was 18, until I went off to college. So I worked there as a hostess for a lot of years in that place, and met my best friend Courtney there. Her mom worked there, and then she worked there. So like a lot of memories there, and it was weird that it was a different location than like all of my memories were for it. So
Did the food taste the same?
the buffalo shrimp did taste the same. The peach melba is the same. It's like canned peaches and ice cream.
That was my first peach melba.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I got a picture of you in front of it where we undercover sang to you.
Yeah.
You hated
I
it so
know.
much.
Like I don't
It was
like
awesome.
the attention personally on me.
Meanwhile, it was a whole weekend about you.
Yeah, but it was like we were all experiencing some of the things for the first time, because like you have
Yeah.
to remember, I wasn't a tourist there. So like I didn't experience some of the things we did. Like I never went to some of the places we went as a local. Like you didn't go to those places. Those were tourist places.
Like the Big Chill.
Yeah, like we went there, like we didn't go to the Big Chill often. Like the first time I went there, and that was also built after I moved.
It looked newer too.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
built after I moved. So I went there with like my parents when I came back from college occasionally, but it wasn't like the local spot.
That was where we went after Hobos, right? We had drinks
On
on
the
the
water.
waterfront.
So many drinks. The drinks just kept coming. We didn't even order them. We couldn't drink them fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our waiter liked us apparently, and he's like, "Hey, they made too many of these. Here's 3 extra drinks."
I
We're
mean,
like,
4
"Oh."
girls showed up that they like had never seen before, and
They
there
were
was
excited.
We were the younger demographic there for
Oh
sure.
my God, that's so true.
They
That's where
call-
the lady had the napkin on her face.
Oh my
right?
God, yes, the sun was so bright.
Oh, I don't even remember seeing that.
I think you might have like
I was
stepped
in
away
my
the
trek to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There was this woman, she had to have been, I don't know, like 70 years old maybe, chilling
Definitely
with her
older than
husband.
that.
And she unfolded a paper napkin and just like laid it on her face.
The sun was setting,
It was very,
and
yeah,
it was
bright.
It
Yeah.
was very resourceful.
Well, you know they call the Keys and Florida in general God's waiting room.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what they
So
call it.
problematic.
Understood.
But like, cause there's no like income taxes. There's no like paycheck taxes. Like the first time I paid like state taxes was like, what the hell?
Oh, I didn't.
Like
think
you
about
take
that.
state taxes out of my paycheck? I literally almost
Yep.
died the
Yeah,
first
they're
time.
one of the few states.
Yeah, they're
We
one of the
should
few
move to Florida?
states for when you retire, because there's less taxes. That's why a lot of people go there. That's why they call it God's waiting room.
I see. I didn't know the tax, or I didn't put that together.
Yeah, I mean, and as you saw during the weekend, the demographic was either like partiers or 90-year-olds. Like there was really no in between.
I mean, the magician was in between.
He was?
He was
Some entertainment.
he was interesting.
I
I couldn't see him. The sun was just like
Uh-huh.
behind him the whole time.
yeah.
He was playing like hair metal rock covers for his music set. And then he transitioned to the evening show for his musician or magician.
That was the same guy? Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So like, what was your first impressions when we entered the Keys? Right, this was your all's first time there.
It was very like beach town without the sandy part of the beach. Like it reminded me of going to like the Jersey Shore, and you get to like the island. It's just like a different world, and everything was moving a little slower, which I
Yeah.
liked. It was nice.
I had to learn to be on time when I moved out of
Oh, I bet.
the Keys.
I bet.
It was a rough first year of college.
It was very island time kind of vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was never like a straight time. You were like around 1-ish.
Well, yeah,
show
because
up.
if you got stuck in
Oh,
traffic,
there's
there,
only one
like,
road.
yeah. Yeah, there's
two.
only one road.
You're
In the
screwed.
upper Keys, there's 2 lanes on each side. In the lower Keys, there's only 1 lane. Mm-hmm. As you get closer. So then we went to Publix, which you guys have experienced Publix now, so it's not like a new thing because Publix moved to North Carolina a couple of years ago. But like Publix was my jam.
They have the best grocery store cake.
And fried chicken.
They have that too.
Oh, did your love affair with Publix chicken start like from
Yes.
from
As a
childhood?
child.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's like the place to go.
There's only Publix. There's literally
Okay.
no other grocery store.
Well, it was like a big deal when Publix came where we
I was
are.
so
like,
excited.
Yeah.
I literally was like,
funny.
couldn't. Like, I'd lived in Florida my whole life. I had never had not Publix, and I come here and there's all these grocery stores I never even heard of. And I was like, what's the Publix equivalent? And they're like, there isn't one. And I was like, what do you mean? So there's no Publix equivalent here.
There is now. But
Well, there is
wasn't then.
Publix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was no like Publix equivalent. Like Harris Teeter is not the same. Lowe's is not the same. Food Lion is not the same. They're just very like, I'd equate those to like Winn-Dixie.
Piggly Wiggly.
We didn't have Piggly
No.
Wiggly.
Because I grew up with Piggly Wigglies in Alabama for family vacations.
Yeah, no. Like we had Winn-Dixie and Publix, and like Winn-Dixie is like Food Lion
Yeah.
version, but like there was no like high. Like I'd say Wegmans.
There's no hate to any grocery
Is
store.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
'cause
mean
of
there
all
is
the
a little
prepared
hate.
food.
I
Like-
don't feel that way. I feel like all grocery stores serve the purpose.
I don't love all grocery
I
stores.
hear that. I feel.
I'm
I know you feel strong.
I'm a
about that.
grocery store snob. Okay.
My Lowe's by my house is really nice, and they have wine. You can sit and have a drink at Lowe's.
No. I definitely love to go have a drink at Lowe's.
Oh, sorry, this is a whole tangent, but
Yeah.
like grocery stores that now have just open bars
It's
in them and you
literally
just like
my
drink
favorite.
while you're
It
grocery
made me
shopping
is
is a
that
whole
way.
interesting phenomenon.
Literally my favorite.
It was
part.
interesting there being liquor everywhere, even grocery
Oh
stores.
yeah.
Oh
and-
yeah, because I'm not used to that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
different.
that was interesting when I moved here. I was like, also that you can't buy it until like certain time. When I first moved here, you couldn't buy it till noon on Sunday.
Yeah,
Now
not,
that-
on, not on God's time.
no, it's 10 now.
10 now. That's
Depends
a
on the
recent
county,
thing.
right?
Oh, I don't
think
know.
It's 10 across the state.
Oh, okay.
But like, I could get liquor at a gas station in Florida.
Yeah, it's like the further south you go, the more alcohol you can get easier.
Yeah, so I was really, I was really surprised when I moved here, and I was literally in a grocery store like trying to check out. And they're like, "You can't buy that." I was like, "What do you mean? I'm 21."
Isn't that the story where you're like, okay, and you went to the self checkout line and tried to get it yourself?
Yeah.
and they, like, followed
And they're
you?
still like, you can't check out. It's like, I don't understand. I am old enough. I swear. So yeah.
So we did,
Our cute Airbnb,
yeah, that's when we went to the Airbnb.
little townhouse on the water.
I am the worst Airbnb guest.
You have high standards because you are a host.
Yes.
I love
However,
it.
also, I think you were able to identify issues that the owners needed to know about and probably didn't know about.
Yeah, you did him a solid.
Yeah. So I'm the worst Airbnb.
And in a kind way.
Yeah, I try to be kind, but I'm also the worst Airbnb guest because I literally
However, only 3 coffee cups for 4 people staying.
not even 4 people.
With-
That house was supposed to fit what
Six.
2, 4, 6. It was six, and there was 3 coffee cups.
3 coffee cups, 3 wine glasses.
3 wine
We're like,
glasses. I was like, absolutely not, absolutely not.
which they rectified within like 24 hours.
Yep. So they got new ones. They were all dirty,
They were there.
but they showed up, and
It's not like they
It's a
could
really
prime it
cute
out. I
spot,
think
though.
someone like actually went to the Dollar General
Yeah.
and like brought
well, there's
them over.
nowhere to go. It's
I know.
there,
I
so,
don't
like,
remember seeing a dollar store, really.
No, there's no dollar stores
So,
really.
I mean, they got it there in a timely manner,
Yep.
which is
Yeah.
impressive.
And the
absolutely.
house was cute. The location was excellent. That I think I was most
So we
impressed with
stayed
that.
on Duck Key.
Yep.
Okay.
It was right in the middle of everything. It was so nice.
In Marathon. So inside Marathon, there's Duck Key, which is like a little bit off of like it's kind
It was
of
its own little island.
Yeah, it's its own little island. And we stayed there because it was halfway between like the Key Largo area and the Key West area, and I wanted to take you through the full Keys. And I don't think y'all really realized how long the Keys
No
are.
no idea.
I didn't think there were more than 2.
There's like 2,000.
Key Largo and Key West.
I love telling you as
The
we go,
end.
we've entered this key, we've entered this
what are
key.
you talking
So
about?
many of them.
So many keys.
I've only ever heard of 2 before.
Yeah.
I now know
You and
better.
everybody else, right? And the only reason people have heard of Key Largo is because of the song.
The Beach Boys song.
Yeah. Do you know how many times people have sang that to me in my life?
Key Largo, Montego, baby, why don't we go?
Look how much she hates that.
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, every time I've been like, oh, yeah, I'm from Key Largo, people are like, oh, Key Largo? Like, yes, that one. So, yes. So, there's more than one key. Key Largo is the top
I learned.
key.
I learned.
Key West is the bottom key. So, people know the top and the bottom.
and we saw
lot
all of
in
them.
We did.
So, we saw all of them. So, we got to the Airbnb. that night. And we were tired from traveling all day. Drinking. We started drinking when we entered the Keys.
We behaved.
Yeah, we behaved.
It was fine.
Yeah. But like you enter a time warp there and like the alcohol does not feel.
Well, we had been going and plane ride and all the things.
And we drank on the plane.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a good time. I think people told us to shush on the plane.
I might have told you to shush on the plane.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that was Tanya.
But
Probably
other
was me.
people did too.
Okay.
In front of us. They were like not happy.
I know on the
should mind
plane
their
ride back,
business.
they were like, "Oh, how was your birthday?"
The flight attendant. Oh no, there
that
was
was
a
the woman.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the person that was in line in front of me.
She
getting
was very
back.
sweet.
Yeah, both ways.
By the time we got to the Airbnb, it was like 8:30, 9
That's right.
o'clock.
Okay.
So we
So we
were
called it a
getting,
night.
so we got unpacked and we like checked out our Airbnb and like we went to bed and we were like, we're all so tired. Okay. Then I get a call. We have a new Airbnb that just went up. Okay. So at like 10:45, I get a call from the people who can't get into the Airbnb because people don't know what a lock looks like. And they're trying to open the lock box with the code and not just like the code on the door. So I get a call at 11 o'clock at night. They can't get in the Airbnb. So I like exit the room quietly to try to like be quiet.
Yes,
and
I
not...
heard a whisper. Hello, this is Nichole.
Hello, this is
Nichole and I were shacking up
Yeah, we were checking
in
in
a
the room.
queen size bed.
We were snuggled. And so I like leave the room like, this is Nichole. How can I help you? And I went down. I helped them into the Airbnb. They got in. Everything was great. While I'm down there, I hear some like music start. Like loud ass music.
I went to ECU for college and I've never heard a party that loud.
I mean,
It was rattling the windows of our bedroom. So we were facing the harbor area of this resort condo complex. And it was one of the boats, speedboats, bumping this music
We thought
at
it was
an
a car. We
insane
looked
level.
outside.
Car. We kept on looking out the front window, being like, "Where is this party?"
Yep.
so I went back outside and I looked and you could see that these like, there was like also a ton of speedboats, like in like really fancy speedboats.
There had to have been a race event
Like a
or
full
something
moon
or boat
party or
show.
something.
Yeah, well, it was the full moon, and there's always a full moon party that weekend. So, like, I could hear the boat, and it was so loud. So I called security because I was like, I'm about to go down there.
This is like 11:30, 11:45
Yeah,
at night.
because it had been going on for like 30 minutes. I was like, surely it's going to end. Like, surely they're going to, like, there's got to be a curfew time. I went down, I looked at the guest book. It said quiet hours. Past the quiet hours, I called security. I was like, yo, there is some loud ass music in the harbor. And they're like, yeah, we've gotten a few complaints about that. Like, there's a guard headed that way after
They do
round.
their rounds.
After they
Putzing
do their
around on
rounds,
his
I'm
golf
like,
cart.
this is very keysy, right? Like, they're just
They
like,
were the most chill security. Like when we were even checking in, they just like waved at you, and we were like, "Oh, okay, here we go."
yeah, like, this is the Keys vibe, y'all. So, like, I think it went on until about midnight.
Meanwhile, my only solution this whole time was me in bed trying so desperately to sleep. And I was like, I hope they fall in. I hope they fall in. I hope they fall in.
That doesn't
Like,
make the music
That would
stop.
make the music.
it
stop.
did not.
But at
It
least
was
they'd
not
be paying for
logical.
it.
It
Yeah.
wasn't rational, but that was all I could
It
muster.
wasn't awful music either. Just
No.
It was just
bad time.
loud.
I couldn't hear anything other than the bass.
Yeah, the bass
yeah?
was just super loud. It was rattling the whole room. So, anyways, it was like late night, right? We'd been traveling all day. It was late night, and we were getting up early the next morning to go to the Keys, to Key West. I mean, so that occurred.
Good times.
Good times. Good times.
And then the
Security
morning.
Eventually, so then like, I no matter what wake up at the same time. Like no matter if I go to bed at 8 p.m. or 2 a.m. I wake up at 6 a.m. every day. There's like no changing that. And so I like get up and everyone's still sleeping. So I'm like, I'm going to go make some coffee because they don't have like a Keurig. They have like the grounds coffee. So like I'm going to make a pot of coffee and I go down. I'm not turning on any lights. I'm trying to figure out like where the light is in the kitchen. And I try to turn on the like sink light to like, you know, the light over the sink.
Uh-huh.
And it's the garbage disposal.
It was so loud. What's even better was the shriek that came with it. Like,
Oh, shit. And I like turn it off. The garbage disposal goes on. I was like, I hope nobody heard that.
that was my wake up call. I did laugh though.
6:30, right?
It was funny.
And then I'm turning the lights on in the living room, and apparently the lights are interconnected from the living room to the master bedroom.
So I had just kind of fallen back asleep. And then the light comes on in the master bedroom. And I know that you've gone downstairs, but I was like, that's really strange that our light is on like a timer or something. So I give it a minute, right? It's like blasting in my face.
Oh no.
I give it maybe 30 seconds. And I was like, fuck, fine. Okay, I'm going to get up, turn the light off. I crawl back in bed. Like 30 seconds later, the other light turns on magically in our bedroom.
In the meantime, I was down in the living room and the light turned off.
How confusing.
I was like, that's weird. And so I go to turn the light back on.
Having light battles. You didn't even know.
Oh, God. Did you tell the owner about that?
Oh, no. I figured it was better just to not review than to leave my review.
No, but I thought you sent like a private message.
I
like,
will.
Here's,
It's
like,
on my to-do
this
list.
Towel holder was falling off the wall, and then this
Yeah.
other towel holder was
I
falling
have
off
a-
the
and
wall,
there's
and
no
this
front porch
faucet
light.
was falling out of the sink.
Oh,
I have
the
a-
smoke detector was off the ceiling.
Yeah, there was no smoke detector.
Yeah.
I have a list to message her with. It's on my to-do list.
No, the
Never-
interconnected lights was definitely the funniest, though.
That
Yeah.
was.
What
I
the
mean-
hell is happening?
Right. And I just like really was like, ooh, I don't know what's so I'm like downstairs drinking my coffee, listening
the
to my-
dark.
in the dark, listening to my spicy book, like on my headphones. Like, and meanwhile, that's how I fall asleep, like listening to spicy books. And I was like, because I have the shock headphones that don't go in your ears, so I'm like really paranoid that she could like hear my book.
I mean, I heard little snippets, but
So I'm like trying to like lower it so like she won't hear it, but like maybe she can hear it, but then I can't hear it, and so like I'm just.
Meanwhile, we were asleep.
Very asleep.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is why you two usually bunk together and we bunk together because we're both early morning people and you guys are both like
Late people,
sleeper
yes.
and when I was like, we're gonna leave at like 8.
Both of us, me and Jay, like,
I was okay with that, depending on our bedtime.
Yeah, so you had to work backwards. I had
Yeah,
to give
I was
you
like,
the,
well,
as
we
long as I
tried
go
to
to-
behave. It was the boat people that
That's
ruined
totally
it for
fine.
us.
yeah.
I just can't get in at like 2 and then go at 8.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like, totally can.
No.
I
You
can.
could roll me out and just put me in Ruby and then I'll be fine.
I thrive on less sleep. Like,
You and
not
your
surprising.
cortisol.
This maybe
Yeah.
is another part of the trauma response. that We need to
I'm
unpack.
sure 6 hours is like glorious for me.
Goodness.
If I get more than that, I get like a headache from too much sleep.
It's called your brain flushing itself out and refreshing.
But like I also don't like take long to fall asleep. Like I lay on the pillow
That's
and I'm an
true. So you
instant
hit it hard,
sleeper.
yeah.
Like to the point where like I do the jerky thing every single night.
oh,
Yes,
like you're
you do.
falling?
Yeah, every single night. Like, and you know, I researched it because I was like, Steve's like, you gotta fucking stop.
Startle response.
And it basically says that when that happens, your brain falls asleep faster than your body can.
Oh, so you get like a startle reflex like
yeah.
a baby?
Yes, I'm like a baby.
To stay
Because
alive.
My brain
Oh.
falls asleep faster than my body can because my brain is just like,
Yeah,
shut down.
Uh-huh.
But my body's like, wait, we just laid down, y'all.
No, it takes me a very long time to fall asleep.
No, I'm like an instant. I like fall asleep in 3 fucking seconds. Like
That's so cool.
in 3 seconds. But once I'm awake, I can't go back.
Well, the other fun thing about sleeping with you in a queen size bed was that there were not enough pillows for like head and like between the knees because we are now of an age
37.
where
I
we
need an
sleep with a
in-between
pillow between our
pillow.
knees. And so she used one of the decorative like throw pillows.
The only thing there was left.
for
They're so like
you had
bumpy.
2 under your head.
I need 2 under my head.
Okay. I should have taken a picture of you because you only had one under your head. You would slide down the bed and you only had one under your head and then the other one was like perfectly up against the headboard. But
I need the
so she
buffer.
chose this super firm decorative throw pillow to put between her knees. And like, I don't know, when you finally came back to bed and fell asleep, like 12:30, all of a sudden I just get like a poke from behind
Oh no.
as she turns over because she
getting
brings this
boned by
decorative
the
pillow
pillow.
Yeah.
over with her. And the point was very aggressive. Very
Our
aggressive.
sensory special friend.
Yeah, to her sensory special friend. Like all I could imagine is her with a decorative pillow between her knees. Like never could she ever.
No.
Oh, no, it'd be
it
way too
sounds
scratchy.
awful
Yeah.
already. Like
it's
But
better
it's
than
I
my
don't sleep
knees.
with pants on either. That can't
Yeah,
happen.
you
No.
sleep like almost nude. And I sleep in lots of jammies. So like there's a lot of differences here.
I love
adorable.
it so much.
But like I have to have a knee pillow. Like
Yes.
I can't have my knees clank.
no, it wasn't until after my surgery, and then I slept with a knee pillow all the time and like hug a pillow, and I have never gone back.
No, I've had a knee pillow for 100 years, I feel like.
So it's
Like,
not because you're 37.
No, always. I like my knees are bony. Like you can't have bony knee clanks. Like I have like, really,
clanking.
because if
because
you
they're
put your
resting
knees
together.
together, they clank. I don't have a lot of meat on my
It's like
knees.
Ichabod Crane in bed. I don't know.
I do not have that problem.
I have bony knees. I've always had really skinny legs. Like my ankles are like this big. Like they're tiny. Like my ankles could break
Little
any
bird
second.
legs.
Like I have bird legs. So like I need the pillow to like keep the ankles can't touch, the knees can't touch, like the whole thing.
All the ergonomics.
All the
Okay.
ergonomics.
Okay.
But we are not even to day 2.
All right, day 2.
Key West.
We woke up and we went to
A cute
Key
little
West
Keys
proper.
Cafe. That was really
But we had to
Right.
pass over the 7-mile bridge.
There was-
Did. That was so cool.
It wasn't
Bleh.
as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was okay. I trusted my driver. We didn't get stuck in traffic on the bridge.
No,
I
these
think
are
if-
my bridge
if we were-
special friends.
If we were in traffic, like stuck on this bridge, I would think I would have felt differently. But we were like singing along to like Vanessa Carlton, like going across the bridge, wind in our
Fly
hair.
like
It
a
was
bird.
fine for me. But apparently the back seat had a different.
No, it was fine. It was a low bridge for most of the time. So that worked for me. I get very anxious when the bridges go high because I have those intrusive thoughts of like, what if I just veer off the side of the bridge? And then I go through, it's an intrusive thought. We've
Okay.
talked about
I
this.
don't
They are not
understand.
rational. They
Why
are not
would you-
desired.
You have
The
the,
wind,
intrusive thought
when
in
you
like a
sneeze.
negative way, and I have the intrusive thought in a ooh fun.
Oh, God.
way.
No. So I have a whole exit plan for when my car goes off a bridge and is submerged in water.
Okay.
I know.
That's why
But
we
we
love
got
the emergency
there.
things that you got us for
Yeah,
Christmas.
I
that
got
one
those
year.
from y'all because
Yeah.
y'all are cray
crazy
cray.
bridge.
And I feel so much better now. Thank you.
Like I literally got them for the cray crays.
Yep, 30% of my anxiety
You
resolved
love
with
us.
that.
I do. It's interesting because I don't have, like, I grew up on bridges. So, like, I don't have those intrusive thoughts.
On them and jumping off them.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I grew up driving on bridges in, like, hurricanes, right? Like, I can hydroplane like you never believe. I grew up with bald tires in hurricanes.
It's basically like driving a boat.
Yeah, like in a car, in a Ford
Chitty, chitty, bang,
Escort,
bang.
station wagon style, where like when I went to go trade that car in, the axle was broken,
oh, no.
and like I drove that car for years and didn't know the axle was broken. Like I thought it was
It's
normal.
steered, it's good.
I thought it was normal that you like just had to hold the steering wheel like this way to like go straight.
You had manual steering.
Like I literally just like held it. You know, it was $500, so it was like the perfect car.
I'm really glad you're still alive and with us today.
It's a miracle.
Miracle. I survived my childhood. Let's be honest. So we went to the Key West and we did the Duval crawl. This is the famous like Duval Street run where you start at like one end of Duval Street where the cruise ships like drop off.
Yep.
And we go to go all the way down Duval Street to the southernmost point. And essentially in the Key West, you can drink freely on the streets.
Yeah, that was fun to find out because we
Yeah.
asked somebody and there was
no,
someone else walking.
no. Nichole was just convinced that it was not an open
Like I
container
Googled
law.
it. It literally said.
Right.
You
So we were halfway down Duval Street before we finally stopped at a lovely little sidewalk
sidewalk
bar.
Yeah.
And she was so sweet. And she's like, yeah.
Wasn't
Right,
it
but
called
there
like
was
Bob's Balls?
Bobby's balls. So the
Balls.
whole time I'm sending
Shout
shit
out
to
the
Bob about
waitress
it.
or the bartender at Bobby's Balls.
Bobby's Balls.
Yeah, she was lovely.
lovely.
But
Well,
some-
because you asked 2 people that were like walking the other side of the street. And they're like,
Exactly.
can we drink? And they're like, sure.
There's
And I was
no
like, that is not a
rule.
reliable.
I trust them
Source.
not at all.
So can we just pause and reflect on the moment that like when we bring Nichole back to the Keys, all of a sudden she like pays attention to rules and follows them. Where
Yeah.
in the entire decade I've
interesting.
known you in other parts of the world, literally the world, you are the exact opposite.
So I'm
Do first, ask forgiveness later.
Yeah.
Or don't.
So-
at
But in
all.
the Keys, she just like it got rewired.
I am a different person there.
Yeah.
Like I am not the same person. Like I don't think you all understand who I was in high school. Like I was not popular. I was like I had 2 friends. Like I was the girl that worked at the bars. Like I drove the station wagon with the speakers glued to the like dashboard with my CD player because my speaker system didn't work. Like I was not who I am today.
Meanwhile, you were charging people for rides to school. So the
Yeah.
entrepreneur
Yeah.
Still there.
Selling bottles
hustle
of water in
machine
traffic.
was always
Yeah.
there.
But like I felt very insecure growing up there. Like it was a very like I was super self-conscious. I cared a lot about what people thought about me.
And did some of that come back a little bit?
Like, I mean, always when you enter in like your childhood remnants, like even just like showing you guys where I grew up, I was like, this is my trailer. I was like, I know. Because it's like just a different way I grew up.
Yeah,
like,
it's very personal.
Yeah, and it was like, you feel like a little bit of that insecure.
It's a vulnerable thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So like I was like, oh well, we're not supposed to do this. Like I know where we are. Like we're not supposed to do this, or like versus like not the same person I am outside of that place, which is why I don't really go back there. Like my mom is always like, don't you want to go back to your high school reunion? I was like, absolutely fucking not. And she's like, well, don't you want to go and be like, here I am now? And I'm like, it just doesn't like I can't do that. Like I transport back to that person, like in that setting.
Well, in Duval Street, you said you had only done that one time.
Like
you were like
one
18,
time.
right? And so this was like a fairly new experience for you as an adult to get to like walk Duval Street, pop into all the bars and the restaurants and like all the things. It kind of felt like a Bourbon Street light.
Yeah.
Because that was the only thing I could compare it to. But it had that feeling and like all these historic homes that had been converted to super cute restaurants and stuff like that. But we just walked the entire width of the Key, which I didn't think was possible or that we would do. It was bigger. It was like a whole city down there, which I didn't know. I didn't anticipate.
That's
Drank
true.
a
Was
lot
that-
of rum.
Yeah, and it was
Lot of
suddenly
rum.
more urban too.
Hey, I like rum.
Compared to all the other keys getting there.
Yeah.
It was
It
just
is-
like, phew, city.
Yeah, because there's like
It was the
literally,
biggest
like,
part.
Key
Yeah.
Largo and Key West are the two main cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did the Duval straw crawl.
All I know is that there was a lunch somewhere that was really nice. The girl playing on the piano. where
That
you
was
had-
Pinchers.
Pinchers.
So wait,
shared a
first we
bucket.
got all the way to the southernmost tip. We took the picture with the buoy, and
At
we got
the
to wave on the webcam. My
And your
husband
husband video
recorded
camera.
us
Yeah.
over the live webcam, waving it to him from
Such
the
a
point
saint.
that he
I
got to
love
like
that.
show the kids and
My
stuff.
kids loved
Props to
that.
Landon.
Really fun.
Thank you, Landon.
Yeah, Landon came in clutch there.
He like delayed getting to his workout to do our video for us. I was like, thanks, babe.
So good.
And then we took our time walking because we like hoofed it down there.
Yeah.
Get our
And then
'Cause
we
the line
took
gets
our time coming
long.
back. It did.
And it was
did.
long when we got there, like, because it's a big picture spot. Like, I equate it to, like, when you go to Nashville and you go take, like, the pictures at the, like...
Or like the Vegas sign. Like there's a
Yeah.
queue of people.
or, like,
I was so happy we were in the shade and we had drinks.
Hey.
It was fine.
yeah, we had drinks. We were in the shade. I was getting sunburned already. Like,
I kept spraying you, even though
Yeah.
you hated it.
and it's okay. I needed to be sprayed. But, like, I get sunburned so easily. Like, I wasn't made to be in the Keys. Like, I wasn't made to grow up there. But, like,
Yeah.
here I am,
Moving
right?
north was a good call for your skin.
My skin does not like the Keys. Like, I just distinctly remember in college, the first time I walked across campus in college, the top of my feet got so sunburned, like second
Oh, I bet.
sunburn, that like I literally couldn't wear shoes for like a week.
I bet.
So me and Florida are not made to be together. It's okay to visit now at this point, but like I'm an inside girl.
We were also responsible.
I'm
Sunscreening.
very
We
proud
were,
that
yes.
none of us got burnt.
Yeah, no, we
You
definitely
got a little
didn't-
pink. It was great. So then we walked back. We had lunch at Pinchers. Highly recommend. So it was like a converted old home maybe, or just a business, right? But the sitting area was on the second floor of this balcony overlooking Duval Street, and there was a busker who had a beautiful singing voice, and she was playing piano.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got the little bucket drink.
Yeah, we had a corner
Yes.
spot. We got a bucket drink that we all
There
got
were like
to drink
bead
from.
necklaces in the trees next to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the crab claws, I still remember, were so good.
So good.
I could have made a whole meal out of those. And then we had the most fun, morbid conversation ever.
forgot about
that
this,
was
but
interesting.
I took notes and put
You
it in my
took
Google Doc.
very detailed notes.
Well, we
Thank you for
started
that.
talking about what happened when we passed away, and I just realized that I wasn't sure, other than Nichole, who actually had a plan. And even within that plan, sometimes you don't have like the little things. So
Yeah.
It was a
I
very
decided
helpful
after
conversation.
having a lot of rum that I should write this down so that I would know what you want at your funeral.
So like we know who's going to be turned into jewelry, who's going to be turned
I
into
didn't
a
know it could be
bath.
turned into a diamond. So now I want to be turned. I knew I wanted to be cremated. Now
Yeah.
I want to be turned into
But
a
it's true,
diamond.
we were cackling, laughing
I
so
mean-
hard,
And like
talking
where to
about
go
end
and
of
get
life.
things.
And like when to pull the plug if we were in an accident, like very
It
serious.
was a
talk.
very genuine conversation with notes and documentation.
And
from
way
it.
too
A
much
lot of rum.
Way too much rum.
I don't
Okay.
understand. We
We
were
were
drinking
fine.
just as much in this picture, but this was the beginning of the end for Nichole and Jenny.
That's so true.
This is the point where I was like, I don't know if I'm driving us back.
2 daiquiris at that point, then the rum punch.
You only had one daiquiri. We only stopped one time, and then we
No,
went to
it was-
Pinchers.
And
It was very
after
strong.
that we went
Okay.
to Fat Tuesdays, and I accidentally
Yeah.
got them drunk.
Oh, you did the floaters.
I didn't know what a floater was.
The bartender didn't understand me. I swear to
I
God, it
just
was
wanted
not
a
on
nice
purpose.
frozen daiquiri to round out my
And you got
3 drinks.
one.
I don't know what I drank, but it was
And
Well, you
like-
started with the mango, then you didn't like it. And
So then I
we
drank a
swapped with the
strawberry.
Well, and then I drank
strawberry.
half the strawberry, and then I drank the mango.
and then come to find out they had shots on. That's what a floater is.
I know
It's
what
an
a
extra
floater
shot
is.
on
did
top,
not.
yes.
Yeah.
I did not know.
Well, I asked the bartender for another one of the mango. She thought I meant another shot.
And then
in there.
where
And
did
she's
we
like,
go
"Oh my
after
God."
that? For
Sloppy Joe.
Sloppy
Sloppy
Joe.
Joe.
I couldn't even tell you where
Blech.
we went after that.
You didn't like Sloppy Joe's, but Sloppy Joe's
No.
is like a Duval Street
Okay.
classic.
I didn't
I didn't
like
mind
it.
the
think
place.
Tanya shifted from having fun to, oh no, we're gonna have to take care of these people.
Well, we had to get home.
Yes.
And so
Tanya
Ashley
are
and I
debating,
started
like,
making eyes at each other. We're like, okay, we
who's
need to make a
driving?
plan.
Because it wasn't going to be me at the
No,
Sure
my
wasn't.
moment at Sloppy Joe's was we had nachos, and I really love nachos. But I was like, these are there's chili on these nachos. Okay,
because
cool.
Nicole ordered it.
And then I was like, why is this chili so sweet?
It was
Because it's
so
Sloppy Joe.
sweet. Yep.
I didn't
Yep. Took a
put
minute.
it together
I
until a
distinctly
minute
remember
later.
you saying, I'll order nachos, but I don't like chili. And then you ordered it, and then you turned around to the
was like, I
I
waitress.
didn't order the nachos.
Somebody ordered the nachos, but she turns around to the waitress and goes, add Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Joe. And you looked at her like the devil. Like you were like,
I was like, ha, Sloppy Joe's. When in Rome, when in Sloppy Joe.
that is a core memory for me.
Okay.
And then
I missed
apparently a
that.
pizza showed up.
Yeah,
You ordered a
you ordered
pizza.
pizza.
I
My
thought
friend.
they said it was going to take too long, and I said, no, thank you.
Uh,
So it
No.
got a little confusing.
So we had a pizza, we had drinks. I remember going to the bathroom and then I peed and I was like, whoa.
No, I set a timer on my watch because I was like, Nichole, you can go potty. But then I also literally set a timer for
afraid she
5
wasn't
minutes
gonna
on my
come
watch.
back?
So I was like, if she's not back in 5 minutes, I have to go get her.
So I like got up and I went to the bathroom and I sat to pee and then I was like, like, you know, when you go.
Oh, yeah.
And like the world is
And then
Yes.
all of a sudden you're like,
It gets quiet. And you're like, oh.
oh,
You stopped just long enough.
just long enough to be like, hey, I don't know what I drank, but it's coming up. So I didn't puke. I felt like I was going to puke, but I did
Wow.
not puke.
No.
And I went back to the table. I think it was also hot.
It was very warm at that point. Yes.
It was
Like,
a lot
and
warmer
I
than I thought it was
get,
going to be.
I get really like,
Yeah, we were dripping
I'm not,
sweat for
yeah,
sure.
I was so sweaty. I don't like being hot. And like, I was drunk and hot. And like, drunk and hot, Nichole, is not a good combo unless I'm in a pool.
Except we get out onto the sidewalk and like I fully aware, Ashley and I are both fully aware of the current situation. And then I like kind of like tap your arm and you link arms with me and like didn't let go. And
So
you're
much
not a
touching all of a
touchy
sudden.
person
No.
ever. And I was like, okay, cool.
I didn't wanna
not
get
letting
lost.
you go.
I
Because I,
didn't
was
wanna
like,
get
either
lost.
you're just going to wander into the street or you're just going to
I felt kind of like numb. So like when I feel numb, like when my lips are numb, I'm like,
I was not that far gone.
no.
But I was.
It was our birthday
concerned
girl.
That Nichole was holding on to you because Nichole doesn't like to be touched. And I was like, something is terribly wrong.
or terribly
Wonderfully wrong.
But then we went to the weed shop because there's just random weed shops all across.
It was so
There was a
fun.
weed food truck.
There was
Yeah.
like
We
a
didn't
van
go
with a
there, but I
giant
was just
like blunt on top of it.
very-
It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, so that's different for us. Like growing up in North Carolina, living in North Carolina, like that's not legalized,
Yeah, not
right? The way
Pennsylvania
that,
either.
Well, it wasn't
Well, it is
legalized
now.
when I grew up in Florida.
yeah.
But,
so
like,
now it
now
is, right? And so,
Although when I went to college, the first time I smelled weed, I said to my husband, "Oh, that's like rolled cigarettes. Somebody's like rolled cigarette." And he's like, "No."
I love it.
He's like, "No, bitch, that's weed." I was like, "No, that's rolled cigarettes. Like my dad just rolls cigarettes at
He
home."
sure does roll something
So it was the first time I realized my parents actually smoked weed
in college.
in college.
that's funny.
You just thought that smell was like,
Cigarettes.
Yeah. Rolled cigarettes do smell a little different.
Yeah. So I just thought like he would like specially roll cigarettes. So
I'll say the guys in the dispensary were everything that I imagined
You guys were hilarious.
guys working in the
to me
dispensary
in
would
there.
be. Well, Nichole found like
I
a
tried to sit in
throne
the corner
of a
and not
chair
say
to like
anything.
hang out,
I
sit
sat
down.
in a big ass chair and just like waited.
Yes. Meanwhile, I went to the counter with my grocery list. I need this, and this, please, for me, for them.
Yeah.
It's all wonderful.
And like
They were
bought
so
cookies.
helpful.
Didn't I buy cookies?
And
They
the
were
next-
not
No, the
weed
cookies were
They
nuts.
were
Weed
somewhere
cookies.
else.
Cookies were nuts.
So we got the weed gummies,
Gummies and pre-rolls. Yeah.
gummies and pre-rolls, but
CBD.
it's not really CBD. It was
No, it
Delta
was-
9.
Yeah, it's like a different derivative of
I don't know.
THC.
Yeah,
Really?
it's Delta 9, which is legal now because like we
Yep.
can ship it to our house.
Yeah.
Like I can get Delta 9.
Yes, they gave us their lovely card too to contact them.
Yeah, so Delta 9 can like ship to your house. It's legal. It's like a less strength THC, and you just double up the dose. So we got some of those. We also decided to get cookies to take
Cookies
back with
as
us.
big as our heads, and
So I
they
had a
were
pizza box
so
and
good.
cookies.
The cookie needed a pizza
The
box.
cookies
So
weighed
big.
like 4 pounds.
really
They were
good.
ginormous.
They were so
But
good.
like by the time we got back from Key West, I feel like I was already like half drunk.
had
No,
rough
you're skipping two of my other favorite
Okay.
moments. At the end of Key West, we get the cookies, and then we were like, oh no, we need some souvenirs for the kiddos.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
So we
And
went into
did
a
our
souvenir
sweatshirt.
shop.
You rang
We
the
went
bell.
we went into a souvenir shop, and I lost Nichole on my arm, and then I suddenly realized that I lost Nichole on my arm. I was like, code red. I look at Ashley and Jenny, and all of us split and go in different
Try to
directions
find Nichole.
to go find Nichole. And all of a sudden, I just hear ding, 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 ding,
Ringing
ding.
all of the bells.
And I turn a corner, and she's just ding, 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 ding.
Like little like hotel
All
bells.
the
They, like,
hotel
ring
bells
for weed,
on
ring
it,
for
and I was
sex,
like-
ring for beer.
Meanwhile, you're like flinging around a ceramic mug that you were going to purchase. And I was like, let's buy this and get out of
be
here,
out of
please.
here.
It all sounded so nice.
And
Yes,
then we
they were
found
Not my experience.
our amazing
Sweatshirts.
$10
$10.
sweatshirts. I still think this is the best
I
quality.
need you to cut mine like you cut yours.
I
Okay.
can do that.
yeah, did you just like cut off the bottom hem or further up?
No, I cut further up.
I need you to crop mine.
I got you. But
We
yeah,
got our like really awesome. If you're only listening, you can't see that we're wearing these tie-dye Key West, Florida,
Like neon
sweatshirts.
tie-dye.
I told you before we even left, I was like, I have a vision of finding an obnoxiously bright fluorescent tie-dye-ish sweatshirt for Key West that I want to bring home. That's the only souvenir that I want to have. And
I mean, I think on every
Mission
trip we
accomplished.
go on, we need to find a tacky sweater to
now
buy.
I think it's
love
going to be
it.
tradition.
It's gonna be tradition.
Yeah.
So-
and then we got to our car and we safely drove ourselves home. Because
That was a
Ashley
rough
and I-
ride for me.
Oh no.
Because I had to sit up front.
I thought I was going to
Yeah.
and you sat in the
all
back.
over.
That's true. Our two front seat usual people
Yeah.
ended up
Like, because Ashley drove us home.
Yes.
But I had to sit in the front. And I pulled birthday card. I was like, I
did
can't.
it, and Tanya kept trying to talk to me, and I was like,
You know what?
I just don't think I can
Oh,
talk
it
right
wasn't-
now.
yeah, no, it was you who kept touching me. I kind of feel like that's
It was
vengeance.
similar, yeah.
Vengeance for like the Mexico trip where you wouldn't leave me alone.
Hey, I didn't puke on you, the birthday
true.
girl, but
But I'm just saying, like,
I was like, okay, make sure I know how to turn the window down if I need to.
yeah, like I was literally just listening to the music, like jamming out on the side, and then we pulled to the gas, and I was like, ooh, I don't pump gas. So you're gonna have to do that, Ashley.
yes, the one who drives the
Ashley
electric
totally
car
took
make me
us-
pump the gas.
Yeah.
For a hot second, I'm like, oh, how do I do this?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't pump gas at all. It's not. a
But we
thing I
made it
do.
back.
We made
did.
it back.
Made it back.
It was
We-
great time.
And we went to dinner at the little restaurant at the harbor that night.
I got my Florida lobster.
You got your Florida
The
lobster.
first time I had ever had
What
Florida
did you
lobster.
think about the Florida lobster versus the Maine lobster?
It was fine.
fine. Look at your face. I don't like it.
Fine. I am not a lobster girl
Oh, okay.
first and foremost though at all,
Okay.
right? So if it push comes to shove, I would much rather have a snow crab. I'll take 3 pounds of snow crab over a lobster tail.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
But
Noted.
I like a lobster roll, right? Where it's warm and butter and all the things like the Connecticut style, I think, right? And so I think if it had other things with it, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, but it was just full on a lobster tail and butter and then undercooked vegetables and the most bland rice I've ever had in my life.
Well, the rice is to soak up the alcohol.
Well, yeah, but that was a pretty price tag for that meal. So I
that's-
expected a little more
Oh, I
And
loved
I was-
my baked potato.
sober and
You mean my baked potato?
Oh,
good to
yeah,
go.
I loved your baked potato.
Yeah, so Florida lobster. Okay, we don't have crab that much in the Keys. It's mostly lobster.
Yeah,
And
there
I
was
grew
no
up
crab on menus.
Yeah, I grew up in Florida with Florida lobster.
Other than the little baby crab
little
claws.
stone
yeah,
crab.
but, like
were
those
good.
are tiny. Like those are not the traditional. Like and those
No.
were only in Key West really. But typically we get lobster and it's only Florida lobster and like we would get lobster from like our backyard. Like, you know, and not Maine lobster. And there's a whole lobster season and everything.
Yeah.
So it was interesting when I moved here and there was only Maine lobster. I was like, this is not the same. Like, it's just less sweet. I feel like Florida lobster is sweeter lobster.
The texture was nice. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't terribly chewy. I think like if I had had that in a roll, I would have been perfectly happy.
And I had never had a lobster roll until I went to New England for the
Okay,
first time.
yeah.
Like, we don't eat lobster in rolls. That's not a South Florida thing.
Yeah.
And then the
Right.
next morning we were doing the Upper Keys, right?
Where I almost died by pelican.
Yeah, we'll get to the
Yes.
Pelicans.
My
Jess.
favorite day.
So we went to the Upper Keys and we went to Midway Cafe for breakfast. And
So good.
So cute.
yeah, so this is a cafe that like my friend in high school, her name was Lacey, her family bought and opened this cafe and called it Midway because it was halfway between Miami and Key West. So it was Midway Cafe, and she worked there in high school and her sister owned it, and like we were good friends. And so I was like, I don't know if their family still owns it, but I was like, we should go to Midway, right? We were close enough, and it's like
I think that was one of my favorite restaurant stops.
yeah,
I
it's
agree.
Really
but
cute.
it's like
The food was
It's
good.
like Panera style where you order and then like they deliver it to you afterwards. So it was good. It was a little bit of a wait, and the table situation was a little weird, but like ended up being fine. There was lots of chickens.
We got to eat outside, like under
Yeah.
these giant trees, and the chickens were wandering around.
the roosters
Hey,
because
There were roosters everywhere. That was so
Everywhere.
interesting
Yeah.
to me.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the chickens in Key West.
Oh yeah, just cock-a-doodle-doo.
Wild.
Any cock'll do, said the T-shirt.
Yeah, because there's
oh yeah, half the Key West T-shirts or swag had just like a chicken on it. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
because
And
there's
then I
so
understood.
many chickens
Yeah.
in Key West. So we did that, and then we wanted to do Theater of the Sea, which is
No, we went to
No.
Robbie's.
Went to
Robbie's
Robbie's
well.
first.
So we wanted to do Theater of the Sea first.
Right,
But the
there's
traffic was really outrageous, and
Okay.
Robbie's was first. So we said we'll go to Robbie's first before we go to Theater of the Sea because we wanted to see the dolphin show, and the timing worked out. So
Yep.
we went to we went to Robbie's, and so Robbie's is the tarpon feeding.
Explain to listeners what a tarpon is.
It's a big ass fish that tries to bite your hand off. No.
Robbie's is a tarpon feeding place where you go and feed the tarpons, and there's like nets so that the tarpons can't come get you because they like jump out of the
Literally
water.
jump.
For our listeners, tarpons are fish, technically,
Yeah,
They
that
look like
are like
sharks.
5 feet long
yeah, they're big.
and I don't know, about the size of a watermelon around. Massive, massive fish.
Yeah, they're
I
big
was
fish.
not prepared for this.
Nope,
Oh,
I was
okay.
not.
Well, first we got our fish in our little buckets.
Yeah,
And we have to
we went
walk
to feed the tarpons.
the gauntlet of
Wait, even before that, she handed us the bucket of the fish, and I was like, wait. No, we don't want to feed. I don't want to feed the pelicans. I want to feed fish.
I was thinking we were
I
gonna, like,
expected a bucket
pellets
of
or something.
pellets,
Yes.
food fish, like fish food.
Yeah.
Pellets.
No.
I did not expect a whole
Slimy baby
bucket
fish.
of mini fish.
Yep. I saw that bucket and was immediately, nope, I'm taking pictures.
Ashley noped the hell out.
I don't like animals. For our listeners, I don't like animals. They scare the shit out of me. So
These were some very aggressive animals all around.
very large tarpons.
Wait,
Oh,
no,
God.
the pelican.
the pelicans
so-
are like geese.
Yeah.
Angry.
But
Yeah.
they were so cute from far away, and then there's just like one dock we have to, and they're like on either side,
You
just
walk the gauntlet.
waiting for
on the
you
dock.
to like steal.
But they warn you.
They do, but I was like, okay, like don't feed the pelicans, haha, cute. No, these pelicans are out to get you.
They are. They had employees with like broomsticks, just like bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, like
Make 'em go
sweeping
away.
the pelican.
I did not like that.
And next to us, we witnessed a childhood trauma.
We did because a
Poor
pelican like
kid.
got to a little kid.
Like a
and it
2-year-old.
was so sad.
Took his fish.
So like
from
they
his
have
hand.
the nets. You'll have to look at the pictures, but they have
yeah
the nets to save
note
you from
picture here.
the
Yeah.
giant tarpon, who by the way didn't realize how big it was or how wide its mouth opened until you cackled when it jumps out of the water.
It's my favorite because Jenny fed it first, and I did not want to warn anybody.
Nicole sent
Yeah.
Jenny.
I sent Jenny
literally
first, and
to
I was
the
like,
fish.
"Just put your hand in."
No, you did it first, but you did it so like you just like no
Very
problem.
chill.
Yeah.
Very chill. Like
Well, because I put my fish in the water.
yeah, no way I'm putting my hand with the fish into the water.
Right. So you held it kind of high up, and
Like
you
2
saw
inches over the water. This giant
the fish, like, jumped.
mouth. almost took my hand. So and meanwhile, pelicans are like at my feet.
No,
so
wait,
I'm
listen.
laying on
We
my
are
belly.
laying prone on our bellies on the dock with our arm hanging
Into the
straight
water.
down
Cue
through this
B-roll
netting.
here, okay?
We will
There's
show
B-roll
it.
is happening.
But like to understand the whole picture, like it was a very vulnerable position that we were in to like lay down, put your whole arm down there, and the pelicans are swarming from behind you.
Yeah.
That you can't see them, you can't do anything about it.
No,
Like,
that's
come for
why
you.
when you were down and after the pelican attacked the little kid, I took my granny pack and I was swinging it around like a nunchuck. I totally hit a pelican, like whacked a pelican with your fanny pack.
It deserved it.
It definitely deserved it. So that's like a traditional Florida Keys
Never again.
activity.
Forevermore, I will be going to Robbie's.
Yeah,
I'm having a very different reaction.
I can't wait
Never.
to take the kids there one day.
I loved it so much.
It was so great. And my
Nicole and I were having the time of our lives.
And my favorite was just the reaction because like my favorite was like y'all didn't I didn't know y'all didn't know what a tarpon was.
Like I know it was a fish.
I knew it was a fish, but I didn't know it was a
To me-
man-eating
Yeah, to me,
monster.
It's not a man-eating
a plate-sized fish, not a fucking fish.
It's like a human size.
God.
like people go tarpon fishing with like spears, like spear fishing with tarpons.
I assume they have great aim for much smaller creatures.
How strong would you have to be to bring one of those damn things in on a
That's-
spear?
Yeah, well, a spear is easier to get in than like an actual rod and reel.
Yeah, I believe that.
So we did Robbie's.
Oh God.
'Kay.
It's so fun. I think my heart rate got to like 110, 120 while we were on that dock.
It was quite the adventure, and I like
So
and
fun.
thinking about it, like I didn't do this other than like maybe one time, like in high school. Like this was not an activity locals did, right? Like there was tarpon off your dock. You didn't know to go to Robbie's to like go feed tarpon. Like you just see them. Like it was
Highly recommend.
a thing. So I had not experienced it with the pelican situation because like
Quite a situation.
there's not a lot of like I don't remember a lot of pelicans from my childhood.
They weren't by the trailer. up
They're
in
all
Key
at
Largo.
Robbie's.
There's not a lot of pelicans in my memory as a child. So then we did Theater of the Sea, which is essentially like a dolphin rescue.
That was so cool.
I really enjoyed that. I was
Yeah,
a
I
little
did too.
nervous about like how I'd feel because I don't
Like a
always
roadside
love, like,
zoo.
but I feel like they were doing really good work. Clearly loved their animals, taking care of them. Front row to the dolphin show. I knew exactly what was going to happen when I sat
Front
there.
row to the dolphin
So
show.
wet.
Got so wet. But it was good. Like I remember going there in a field trip as a child. And then my mom claims we went there a lot as a kid, but like I don't remember that.
Well, and also think like if you've ever been to SeaWorld, right? Like even if you're on the front row, you're still 6-8 feet away from the edge of the tank,
Not
whatever.
here.
No, we were like 2 feet away from just the water, right? They were in a mangrove
Cute
water
B-roll
enclosure.
here.
And the dolphins were just swimming like 2 feet away from us. And they were so
Amazing.
sweet. And
Yeah.
it was really fun. I didn't expect like a whole 30-minute choreographed dance routine with the dolphins. So I
Yeah.
was very
That's
impressed.
really cool.
It's a whole thing. And then the sea lion show.
Sea lions were so cute.
And then we lose Tanya a lot at Theater of the Sea from pictures.
We
of
did.
animals.
We would be walking and we'd like say hi to the tortoises, and Nichole and I would be like 20 minutes ahead, and we're like, we don't need to take pictures. Tanya will get a picture of every flower and every animal and
every
everything along the
twig.
way.
They're so pretty.
I'm
know.
not
Are
upset.
pretty. And
I-
it was a really nice like backdrop for that kind of stuff.
It was
like we took a nice
gorgeous.
like group picture under the trees and one
Yeah.
time.
But
like,
this is also why when we go into like Mexico or something, I'm not like as enamored with like the nature as y'all are
Yeah.
because
yeah,
like
it's normal for you.
You know, I have always been, forever and always, anywhere that I've traveled. Like photography was my passion, and I have a terrible memory, and so I remember things through photos. So I like to document everything.
yeah, you do document everything. And we'll roll some B-rolls of tree plants next.
And I got a great picture of the sea turtle just for Jenny.
yes.
You did.
Yes,
Thank you.
good sea turtles. So we did the Theater of the Sea show. We did all of that, and then you guys experienced like Key Largo traffic. There was, and it wasn't
On a
even like,
bridge.
It wasn't even like there was an
like-
accident.
No, it was like an event.
Yeah,
at
there was
the,
a fair
Yeah.
at Founders Park, and because there's only one road in and one road out, y'all, everything stops, right? So like to go 2 miles, it was like 25 minutes until I got us to the old road, right? And so then we were
Now
able to
we
like
know.
cruise the old road because people just didn't know. Like you can go on the old road until you hit a bridge, and then you got to get back on.
So the old road runs perpendicular,
Parallel.
excuse me, parallel to the big
Carol, yeah.
road.
Yeah.
And so all these people were stuck on the new road, and Nichole just went zoop. And
Until
then
we
it
had
was
to get to
only
the
when you
bridge.
went to a new
Yeah.
key, right? And you had to do a bridge to get to the new key. You had to like merge back in.
Yeah, but I like merge.
Yeah, you
Florida merge.
I Florida merge.
Florida
over the
merged.
line.
I Florida merge right on in and got us over the bridges and then onto the old road again. So we did that, and then we had dinner at Almirada Fish Company, which is where I worked summer between freshman year of college and sophomore year of college. That summer I made like 10 grand that summer.
It's a
I
nice
can see
place.
why. It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
It was the fanciest, I feel like, of the places that
It
we
was.
stopped.
It was fanciest. But like if you think about it, from where like my trailer was
Long drive.
to that place, like you're talking 30 miles that I would work there from 5 p.m. to like 2 a.m. every night that summer. Just made buku bucks though from tourists.
Worth it.
Worth it. So
But man,
we
those
had
late nights.
yeah, I mean, but then we'd go. But then, like, I remember in my like memory, we'd go drink at the Dead Animal Bar, which was called the Safari Lounge. I didn't realize it was called the Safari Lounge until later on in life. We'd call it
Till
the
we
Dead-
were planning this trip.
Yeah, and because we called it the Dead Animal Bar because we would go there after working because bars don't close in the Keys like they do here. So like the bars are open 24 hours, like they don't close. So we'd leave work in restaurants, and go have nightcaps afterwards and drink because like after work you're so wide awake still, right?
Yeah, you've been going.
So we go have drinks and we go to the Dead Animal Bar, and this bar was like there was like taxidermy like heads all over the bar, and it's why we called it the Dead Animal Bar. But when we got there was not a dead animal in sight.
No, it
No,
was very
had
like
animal
polished.
themed, but it was brand new.
It was brand spanking new, and I think Ashley Googled it.
Yeah, it took a little bit like Googling, but like the old place got like damaged in a hurricane or
Yeah.
a fire or something like that, closed for a few years, and then they rebuilt it. And
It was in a different location too,
No,
I
it was
think.
the same
Oh,
location,
was
but
it?
they
but not
totally
the
rebuilt
same.
it. Yeah.
It
Okay.
was not the Dead Animal Bar.
Yeah.
And the vibe was just not what I was feeling.
So we walked out
We did walk out
very nicely.
very nicely, but I was like, ooh, we thought it was happy hour. It's not happy hour.
And we were trying to hunt the sunset too, and you couldn't see the sunset
Yeah.
at all because
Yeah.
of
We
the,
did
the
interesting hunting of sunset. I don't think we actually ever found the sunset.
we caught the tail end of it.
Yeah.
That's
But
okay.
we went to a couple different places in like
The
one of-
RV park.
The RV park
The RV
restaurant. I
that
like,
was so random.
We had to get special access into this RV park.
Talk about lax security again. They're like,
right.
That was the most security we encountered the entire
That's
weekend.
true. They took down like the license plate and stuff.
Yeah, they gave us a hang tag and like
I was
all
like,
the
how did we
things.
end up in an RV park?
Well, it said when I Googled it, it looked like it was a really good vantage point for a sunset view. And it said like great sunset dining. No, it was.
Yeah, wasn't the vibe.
No.
So then we ended up somewhere, I can't even remember where, but it was not near sunset. And you had like the sushi nachos,
Oh, yeah.
and we had the best key lime pie.
we had good key lime pie.
Very good.
Wasn't as tart as I had hoped it
No,
was
but it
going
was like
to be.
silky smooth.
It
not
was
upset
silky
about that,
smooth, but
yeah.
it wasn't very tart. Wasn't quite the key lime pie I'd hoped
Yeah.
for. And then that's when we went back
We played games.
and played games, played card games, and I took a gummy.
We
So-
played spit.
Played
and
spit.
We did play spit.
Four tricks.
It's called pitch.
Four tricks.
Yeah. So I had only ever done a weed gummy with Steve when we went to the Biltmore.
Which still amuses me. Like the concept of being there and just,
Yeah, like when we went to like a 4-course dinner that night too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like I took it before this like big
Oh,
fancy
no.
ass dinner.
that's a great idea. Even appetite
yeah,
for
like
it.
I wanted to eat all the food.
Yeah. Fully support this.
But I took like a quarter of one. Right. So like so I was fine then, and then I took a half this time. I literally couldn't feel my body.
No, you like
not
melted
good.
at some point. Yeah, it is.
No, that's
Felt
like
good.
it was I was happy as could be.
I
But
slept like a baby.
I
all
did
night.
sleep like a baby. But like I remember being like, I gotta go to bed.
You did. All of a
Good
sudden,
night.
after
I
a
was
game, you're
like-
like, I'm going to bed, guys.
It was
Bye.
like very abrupt.
I was like,
You're like, I'm
literally,
done.
I can't be here anymore. I need to go lay in the bed.
Great.
And I literally was laying in the bed, and I heard Tanya come in at one point, and I was like, I gotta pee. but I literally couldn't lift my limb.
Oh no.
Like I literally was
That
like,
sounds like the stuff of nightmares to me.
It wasn't even an indica for exactly
that's
that
what.
reason.
So I
made
came
sure it
home.
wasn't.
I came home and told my husband this, and he's like, "Oh, you had indica," and I was like,
No.
"I don't think I
I
did."
made sure it wasn't.
But I literally, could you imagine if I had indica?
Yeah, you would be into couch. Like,
But like, I don't relax.
I might have
well.
had the bed to myself. I don't know. I could have like put her on the couch downstairs. She wouldn't have known the difference.
I wouldn't have. I don't relax well, like in general. It's just not a thing I do. But like, I couldn't not.
I'm really glad you got a chance to like relax that way, sleep hard, and kind of.
I did sleep hard.
It was like a forced reset for you, and I think that's.
But
a
I
lovely
legitimately
thing.
like was laying there going like, I have to lift my leg. I can't lift my leg. I can't like feel my leg.
You didn't say anything.
No.
I couldn't speak
She
the
was probably
words.
thinking about.
I literally
speaking, but,
couldn't
like,
speak the words. I tried.
That's so scary.
No, it wasn't
That's
scary
really
though. It
fun.
wasn't a scary. Like I wasn't scared. I was just fascinated by the like fact that I literally couldn't say that I couldn't lift my legs. B, that I literally couldn't. Like my face felt numb. I couldn't feel my face at some point. When we were playing cards, I was like, my face.
Oh, that's right, because you were asking like, is it squishy?
No, no. What was it? You were trying to stretch your skin,
Like,
and you're
Oh, you said it was
like,
pliable.
pliable.
it is very pliable.
I was sitting there across from you, like, is it now?
And Jenny and I are looking at each other, and we're like,
What?
I don't understand what's happening.
Nicole and I had fun.
Yeah. My skin was very pliable at that point. Like I literally was like,
37 where?
I was like 37, huh?
Yeah, no. So I did like a half of a half of a half dose, right? Like the smallest dose that you could do from those gummies. And I still remember it was like an hour in, and you were starting to be like, and I was like, are we supposed to be feeling something by now?
Yeah, about an hour in.
And I was like, I don't feel it. I don't feel anything, right? And so I guess I did another half of the half, right? The other like quarter, eighth, or whatever it was. But like by the time we went to bed, I was like, I mean, I feel like I've had like 2 glasses of wine, right? Like
That's
was the most
about
that I
right.
can. That's the most that I can equate it to.
Yeah.
Where like if I turned my head too fast, it like was a little dizzy. But that was the extent
feel
of it.
my limbs.
Yeah, no, it hit you way hard.
Uh-huh.
But this is also my reaction to like any like medication. Like
Yeah.
I can't take like any
Like
I
the
can't take any
painkillers and things like that, yeah.
painkillers. I barely take Tylenol. Like it like affects me very easily. So I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't have taken the whole half. Like maybe I should have done the quarter again. But I did the half, and I just like took a bite, and I was like, off we go. Let's see what happens. And I literally was like,
We saw what happened.
Right.
But like it was so
It's a
funny.
really
'cause
fun night of card games.
It
though.
I was
was.
playing cards and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden I was like, absolutely can't do this anymore. Like literally have to go to bed. And that's what I did.
It's good.
I love it.
I went to bed.
Yeah,
It was
we all
nice
slept real
though.
good.
It was nice though to do that in an environment where A, it was legal.
Yeah.
B, it was a controlled environment. We were home. We were at the condo. Like we were stuck in for the night.
Yeah.
We had everything we
It
needed,
was
and we
very
had
windy,
like
so we weren't going
responsible
anywhere
people
anyway.
around us, right? And no kids around, like all the things, right? And so it gave me the feeling to be, because I had never tried any of those before, and so it just gave me that little bit of like comfort that I needed to be like, sure,
Yeah.
why not?
So we're going to wrap because we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
So we got back to the airport after this night. We had breakfast at a local restaurant, went back to the airport. And like my favorite moment at the airport
Ashley.
was Ashley.
Ashley.
Actually, it's probably like my favorite moment of the whole trip because
We're all lined up to
Yeah.
get on our Southwest flight.
Yes. And I was standing like farther back
Couple
from you
people
guys.
behind you.
Yeah. Funny enough, behind like the same woman that I was behind on the way down there. She also went for like a girls' trip, she was telling me too, which was fun. But yeah, this dude's like drinking his Red Bull and he puts it in a cup holder in like the chair
Beside him.
Yeah. And I'm like, fuck this guy. I tap him on the shoulder and I said, I'll hold your spot if you want to throw it away.
No. You said, I'll hold your spot in line while you go throw that away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was
no
not an if.
Yeah, okay.
This
that's
was
fair.
a command, and it wasn't just the 3 of us. There was probably 15 women
That's true.
Everyone
around you that all started laughing in our eyeballs.
Oh, I was all the way in the back, so I couldn't see anyone
was-
else's face.
oh my
Hilarious.
God, we all were like, who?
Well, I thought it was funny because I said I'll hold your spot, but like we all have a spot. There's nothing to hold.
But he was like, very.
And he
very.
went and he picked up all his
sure
trash
did.
and he put it in the trash. And I was like,
And everyone
Good
else was
job.
just trying to hold their shit together.
I literally couldn't. I literally looked and I was like, ha ha ha.
I loved it.
I love
it
it
was
when
so pretentious of him to do
So
that, though. Like,
pretentious.
how entitled. Like, oh, someone else is going to clean up my trash. Like, no, fuck you, guy. No.
that,
like that.
forevermore, I'm now going to use that line. Like, I am dreaming of the day when I can use that line.
Well, you also on the plane were like man spreading, so you could like claim your space.
Because there was a couple sitting next to me, and the dude was in the middle, and he was clearly trying to like spread his knees more than I thought was okay. So at one point he put them together, and I went, aha, and I'm like, I am taking my
noticed
space.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then we bumped in thighs, and he for a hot second was like, huh? Like he looked and he was like confused why our legs were
Surprised you
touching.
didn't like back up.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not backing up, but I also don't yield to men. So
it's my favorite.
So wait, there was a third incident that happened that I missed when we were deboarding the plane. Something happened with another guy, I thought.
there?
Yeah.
I don't
You like he was trying to like dart out in front.
Oh yeah, and we blocked him from walking.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like he was trying to like go through before his turn. Like you empty by row.
Yeah.
Get your suitcases. There was a man behind y'all trying to like come out. He had like already gotten his suitcase.
Yep. Nope.
Oh, that's right. He did from like a row or two behind.
Yeah, and he was trying to dart,
Yeah,
and y'all
yeah.
just blocked his
Yeah, we
ass.
just got in the aisle.
It was my
waited.
favorite. I was like, y'all just keep going.
I just see you guys dying laughing. Meanwhile, I'm just like anxiety city over like, I got to get my bag and I got to get the thing down from the thing and then get out fast so that other people behind me can get out. And I missed the whole thing
were
that you guys were
keeping the
laughing
peace.
so
Very
hard.
much so.
I was laughing so hard because also y'all have very particular seating arrangements on the
Yes.
plane. Like we have 2 aisle people.
Yes.
Which can cause some problems. But like y'all just pick an aisle. You like the window.
I love the window. I will sit wherever, but window's my favorite.
I actually prefer
Because I like
the
to
middle.
take pictures outside the window of all the places that
And
we're
you got a
going.
great sunset picture too on the plane.
Yeah. I actually prefer the middle.
It's very strange. Only what about strangers? Is it only the
Still.
middle? Really?
Yeah.
Do you put your elbows out on the
Absolutely.
armrest?
That's an automatic
Yes.
middle seat person. You
Yeah.
get both
Because window
armrests.
people get the armrest to the left.
Yeah.
Or to the window. And then the aisle people get the armrest on the aisle.
Right. So in the window, you're trapped, and apparently doors fly off. So like I'm not sitting there. Like, and if a door flies off, you're the first to go.
Nichole was not shy about letting me know that she was happy I was going to fly out of the plane and not her.
You were first to go out of the plane if that happened.
I also don't like it.
Certainly wasn't going to be me. And then on the aisle, everybody's ass hits you
Yes.
when you sit on the aisle.
You
And
think of-
I don't want asses hitting
Yeah.
me across the way.
Or
And-
the cart going by.
Right. No, I just don't like that. And then in the middle, I can hear everything that's happening around me.
That's true. You're very like in it.
I'm in it, and
I
I
want to
get
be in the middle of everything.
yeah, and I get both armrests. So like the middle for me is like
I could argue that you're supposed to get one armrest to the side of the window.
No, the middle.
And then one armrest and then one armrest because then you don't have to use the armrest on the aisle
Nope,
and get
the
your
middle.
elbow taken off by
Nope,
the
the
cart.
middle automatically gets both armrests. That's
agree.
the plain rule for life.
I agree.
Agree to disagree.
I fly enough.
Well, if you get it me in the middle, I get both armrests. Just so
No,
you
it's
know.
okay. I'm just linking arms with you from now on,
there's
and
room for
we'll
2
play chicken
elbows.
with that.
Just give me enough to drink, and I'll link it willingly.
I
go.
mean, we survived, y'all.
We did.
We
It was
definitely
fun.
did.
We more than survived. It was such a good time.
It was a really great time.
Yeah, I was
a lot
really.
in one weekend.
Yeah, it was a lot on weekend. I was really
72 hours, you guys.
I was really glad that I got to share sort of like my childhood experience with y'all and give you like a little insight into maybe why I am the way I am.
Well, now when you mention places, I'll know. Oh, hobos.
Yeah. These are like core, like it wasn't a big place I grew up. So like there's very few places that are like core memory items. So I know we're super long on this episode, but there's going to be a lot of B-roll here. So
Yeah.
y'all are going to
Yep.
see awesome shots. We took a lot of videos from the trip, and our intro has a lot. Did you see the intro? Okay.
I think the takeaway is highly recommend doing a trip where you can go to someone's hometown and like see where they grew up. If you weren't
Yeah.
a part of their life from early on, it was really, really fun to be able to do that and to share that time together.
Yep.
So
And
highly
it's-
recommend.
It's weird to me to think that y'all weren't there. Like,
Well, now it's like we were.
yeah, right? And so that wraps up this week's episode of ShePack Unleashed. And we hope you enjoy diving into our stories of the she's in the keys.
She's in the keys.
She's in the keys.
She's do the keys.
She's do the keys.
What am I doing?
I mean, some weed. But she's in the keys.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our fun adventures, of course. And if you want to stay connected, share your thoughts. You can find us on our socials, ShePack Unleashed on TikTok and Instagram.
And YouTube Shorts.
And YouTube Shorts now.
And YouTube. I'm like posting the
Hey,
videos so
all
y'all
the
can watch
socials.
the video episode.
Thank you for being a part of our pack.
This is Ashley, Jenny, Tanya, and our birthday girl from the Keys, Nichole.
Woo-hoo.
Stay wild and fierce.